Yeah, and I think we'll have the opportunity to talk about that. But your wife is building this community around Disney World and how to
Yes.
travel time. And the Little World song, I mean, comes right out of that realm. So, but Taylor, Kurt, thank you so much for joining us on this closing panel around conversational commerce. We're gonna make this super interactive. So we have here. Phil, myself from Gorgias. Kurt, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I introduced myself earlier, but I'm Kurt Elster, best known for hosting the unofficial Shopify podcast with 1 million downloads. And my professional day job is I have been working exclusively with Shopify merchants to uncover hidden profits in their store for the last 6 years, with some of our clients being Jay Leno's Garage, Hoonigan, Keysmart, Tactical Baby Gear, all the fun ones.
And Taylor, also, thanks so much for joining us. Like, I'm not gonna try the name again. Well, it's pretty easy actually.
Maniscalchi.
But
yeah, Kurt has it.
And how do you pronounce the name of the company?
It's HVMN, so it's just the acronym Health via Modern Nutrition. So pretty straightforward there.
Sounds good. And you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm head of customer success at HVMN, and we are a nutrition company in the keto space. We started as a nootropics company, and then when we launched Ketone Ester just a few years ago, we really transitioned towards metabolic health and the green pasture that space is. And last year we launched collagen protein and our MCT oil powders, and we're coming out with new flavors of those right now. So really just helping people be their best selves and reach their nutritional goals.
Yeah. So and just as I'm showing up your website, it seems like you might have something in front of your microphone potentially, or there's a little bit of distortion. So I don't know if it was we might want to fix that to. Or was it all right on your side?
It was probably my headphones. Is this better?
Yeah.
No, it sounds like you're calling us from 1860.
Yeah, I feel like I must have accidentally run my headphones through a washing machine at some point.
It's okay. It's a little better now, but it sounds a little funky.
Yeah, now it's better for sure.
Good.
But
look at that video on the human or the HV. I thought it was human. I've actually seen this site before.
Collagen flavors.
Wow, I was like, where's the buy now button? I want some. Like one click and I'm buying. Oh, that's amazing. We'll have the opportunity to come back to this website and discover more about how you're engaging with your clients. But yeah, today's topic, conversational commerce. We're going to wrap it up with a panel on that topic precisely. And what is conversational commerce? Well, it's really about increasing conversion rate through one-on-one real-time interactions. And God knows that people were craving for those real-time interactions and more retail-like shopping experiences in the last couple of months when they had to transit their purchasing behavior from retail to online. So we have a couple of topics today that will be great to have both your input from a brand perspective and an agency perspective. So are you guys ready?
Absolutely.
It's going to be quick fire questions. So before we jump into channel, let's talk about brand voice. So it's really important for brands to understand who they are, where they're coming from, and how to express that unicity, that authenticity. So can you tell me a little bit more, Kurt, about how with all the different brands that you're working, how do you make sure that when you're getting in a project, it can be Jay Leno's Garage or Hooligan or Keysmart, they all have very different personalities, if you want. So how do you how do you embrace those differences and make sure that you're staying true to the client's brand voice and tone?
Sure. So I will answer this with a tactic and a strategy. So number one, the tactic is we ask people. We have a variety of onboarding forms depending on what the project is, but one is called just the messaging worksheet. And the messaging worksheet is to get people to think through what their brand voice is and really define it qualitatively with a series of attributes. And that makes life very easy, often because they themselves, the merchant, has not necessarily thought it through. It's just it's not that they're not thinking about it. It's just it's natural to them. And so that it's an easy way for them to communicate it to us. The strategy that I use when I'm trying to think through it, and I got this from King of the Hill screenwriter Michael Jamin told me. His wife has a big e-commerce store, Twirly Girl. For every brand, you pick a celebrity who most closely encompasses the voice, and then try and write in that voice. And often, and then the other way to do it is try and picture someone you're talking to specifically. Like, if you have a clear idea of who that ideal customer is, imagine when you're writing copy, you are writing them an email. And those are the three ways we go about it.
So the celebrity, that's great. Well, I mean, I love this brand that you're working with, Hoonigan, and behind it, there's a celebrity. So how would you define that brand? Like, can you tell us a little bit more about the specific elements of the voice and tone of Hoonigan?
Sure. Hoonigan is the tone, the voice is when you're a high school boy and you're at the lunch table and you're talking through, you're like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, what's your dream garage? Well, wouldn't it be cool if you did this? Well, what if you could do like this and this? And Hoonigan is, okay, well, what if those guys got a little older, got some sponsors, and were actually able to make those absurdly stupid car ideas happen? Like, well, what if you reverse the way a steering wheel works? With, like, turning it left, it goes right. They actually did that. And spoiler, it just breaks your brain. So for them, like this, they actually have, like, when you're trying to talk in the celebrity's voice, it actually gets a lot easier when they have a literal celebrity behind them. So, like, Hoonigan is Ken Block, who used to own DC Shoes. Jay Leno's Garage, well, that one's easy. And like, we're a Sutra. They have a Sutra is a health and wellness brand we work with, and Venus Williams is their brand ambassador, their chief brand officer.
That helps.
So that certainly those things make life easier.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Yeah, so basically you only take on brands that have a huge celebrity behind them. That's easy.
It makes life easier.
So, Taylor, is there a huge celebrity, behind your brand, or have you guys worked more like through micro influencers or?
Yeah, so we developed a brand voice, and his name is Hugo. And it's actually really interesting. The process that Kurt was just talking about is kind of how we developed Hugo. We listed out different celebrities that we thought really embodied the personality we were looking for. And Chris Pratt from, like, Parks and Rec and Guardians of the Galaxy, he was at the top of our list. And then we kind of worked backwards from there. You know, what's his job? What's his attitude? What are the attributes that he represents? And then what does he sound like? And then we just moved forward from there.
And is there a document that you, like, pass around in the company so that everybody's aligned and that they know? And do you know, like, what's written on that document?
Yeah, so there's a few different sections of that document depending on whether it's copy or something for, influencers to kind of, or for our marketing team to pick influencers. So it's just like there's different sections of that document depending on which team needs that resource. But yeah, having a centralized area where our brands and values are, it makes everything just a lot easier.
Yeah, and, like, I don't want to spend too much time on this. We're done, but just for Shopify, it's they have their brand voice and tone directly, like, available to the public on their website. And there's two very interesting statements that they make in order to make it easily understandable. It's first that they are a business mentor with zero ego. So that's, like, really Shopify's voice. We want our voice to sound like a business mentor with zero ego. So they're there to, like, help you grow your business selflessly. But then at the same time, if you read through those statements, they let everybody within their organization kind of, like, express their, like, have a little bit of their own personality, go through. So it's really interesting. And I think that's, like, the foundation to building a lasting brand is understand, like, who you are and how you want to talk to your clients. And having this document is really, really valuable to align your teams. So it's good to know that you guys, like, did this exercise as well. And so let's go to the next level now. How do we use brand tone and voice and your personas in order to drive engagement, and sales on all your channels. So let's talk about social media comments. So Taylor, how do you guys manage comments? Like, how do you like create potentially copy that will generate more comments, and how do you reply to people giving you love, people asking questions, or maybe even detractor of your brand?
So for the social media development side, that's really more with marketing team, but we do a lot of testing. Just, you know, what's driving the most engagement? Do they like more interactive imagery? Do they want GIFs? Do they like emojis? So we do quite a few different types of posts. And we really ramped up social media not that long ago. So we're still really experimenting with a lot of the different things that work and don't work. But in terms of detractors and engagement, detractors, we don't really get a lot of those. I mean, you're always going to get somebody that is just there to be rude or make profanity comments or something like that. But by and large, a lot of the people are just asking questions. And it's really awesome to see when real customers are hopping onto ads and answering other people's questions. So, you know, when you ask, you know, how do you reward people that show, you know, love, Gorgias makes that really easy because I can usually see their account from wherever they're commenting on social media. And it's, you know, sending them a free frother or, you know, an extra tub of whatever favorite flavor that they've got, or, you know, even just acknowledging like, hey, I see you answering people's questions and we really appreciate that. And like just letting them know that we see them, that's huge. And especially talking to everybody as often as I do, it's nice to see familiar names on there all the time. That means everything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So on your page right now, we see like there is 2 questions under a post. One is just like ingredients, and then like, yeah, clear explanations, very simple, that's related to the product that is currently marketed. And then like the where is my order? And like, you don't need more information than that now. It's like, yeah, I see your name. I can map it to my like B2C CRM. Like I think
Yep.
it's Gorgias in this instance. And you're like, yeah, your order is out for delivery. Like, how cool is that?
Yep.
And that's like goes from 1 hour within the hour as well. So you guys, like,
Yeah.
are you working on this right now while we're like chatting, or like?
I did answer that one like right before we hopped on here.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it makes it super, super easy. You know, with privacy stuff, you never want to link a tracking link or something in the comments, but like I sent her tracking link over DM, and just makes it really easy because you just have to meet your customers where they are now. I mean, yeah, she could have emailed Karat, she could have popped into chat, but like Facebook is obviously her preferred method. So it's like that's super important to just meet people where they want to talk to you.
That's amazing. I need to try the salted caramel. Yes. Oh, of course you do. Kurt, do you?
Of course you do.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
That's the best. Like, yeah, there's so much value in those conversations with people giving you love online. Like, Kurt, do you have like some good examples of brands you work with that like are doing a great job at that, like incentivizing potentially clients they're chatting with or to purchase?
You know, I actually don't. That's kind of outside my wheelhouse. Our marketing team would be able to speak to other brands that, you know, are really doing that well. One brand that we just did a collaboration with was Gainful, and they're pretty involved with their customers online as well. But by and large, I'm not too familiar with other people's voices and how they're managing it.
And Kurt, what about yourself? Any of your brands that stand out in that realm?
Well, actually, one I think that would. So the answer is off the top of my head, I don't know, but there's one I want you to look at because I think if anyone is a good example of extreme brand voice, it would be these guys. It's pitvipersunglasses.com. Let's. So yeah.
Sunglasses. All right.
And I was talking about this site because it is so fascinating. What's the name of those guys? BVA
Yeah.
Brand Value Accelerators built this site. But
Wow, like the Nintendo, like 8-bit,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
but their brand voice is so clear. I had coincidentally a friend said, "Oh, they sent before they ever built the site." He said, "I got their RFP. The
Right.
RFP opens and says, "We're looking for a site that slaps the Oakleys off your face." I
That's,
thought that was great. From the RFP, they had the brand voice started.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like it's just so audacious and extreme that when you have an extreme brand voice, the advantage is it separates the wheat from the chaff. In that you're either going to look at it and immediately go, "I get it, I love it," or you're going to go, "I hate this," and leave. And so their brand voice, they took it to an extreme where it is a qualifying process for their funnel.
and let me just say that, like, they're crushing it. I don't have like much data, but just on traffic,
It's so fun.
they don't seem to be they don't seem to have been around forever, and like they're selling like sunglasses, new angle, and they're probably turning around close to $10 million. So
Whoa.
yeah, just like I'm throwing this out there, just like on
You're making
at,
an educated guess.
yeah, that's amazing. Like their social is starting to pick up as well, like on organic and so on.
Oh, there we
Like,
go.
and here you go. Like, yeah, I think that's a great example of like brand voice on social. These guys are all caps, yelling at you right under their post and like shitty hats at a contest. That's fantastic. Wow. Okay. Great.
All right. So,
Fine.
yeah, I was hoping that they would not disappoint, and I got lucky.
No, yeah, that was an amazing guess. So anybody that is looking for inspiration on how to better define and push their brand's voice, maybe a little bit to the extreme, like go check Pit Viper sunglasses.
Yeah. Other brands that are not that you need to load them up, but other brands that are similarly in their extreme, chubby shorts and Shinesty, but nothing is like as nutty as these guys.
Yeah, these guys, man, that's fantastic. And like they don't shy. Like everything is all caps all the time, and that like Star Wars inspired scooter. Like, so
They
that's
use they also they use some light profanity, which is it's a choice, but I think the advantage there is it acts as a bit of a thumb stopper in that especially with social media, all you have to do. Your job really is just to get people to stop scrolling for like 8 seconds and look at your thing, and so showing them something unexpected could be a way to do it. And I think that's why these very extreme brand voices work.
yeah, and people are so engaged.
Yeah.
As like, yeah, they don't like you don't ask, they will post their picture because it's so cool. That's really really cool. Let's talk about another channel, SMS. So Kurt, still with you, like
Sure.
any of your so SMS was the hottest channel I would say of 2019. Like really helped a lot of brands crank up remarketing efforts and so on. Like, have you rolled out SMS with any of your brand, or do you know of success stories?
Yeah.
What are the best practices there?
On Hoonigan, we use SMS as a channel, and it is the most engaged channel between them and a couple other brands running it. The typical ROAS on SMS is 20x or more. I mean, it's just absolutely wild. But the catch with SMS is you're paying per message more, where email you're paying per subscriber, so a little different there. And there's a lot more compliance that you have to worry about, like legality with SMS. Whereas like email, yeah, there's the Can Spam Act, but no one's been sued over Can Spam in like 20 years. Whereas SMS, I mean, there's ongoing lawsuits now between e-commerce companies and their customers. So you just want to dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure you nail it. If you click proceed to checkout, it'll ask you for the SMS there. We also do it as part of there's some welcome pop-ups that ask you for it. So.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about the flow and like what are the usage? So is it mostly like abandoned cart, or do you have other use cases?
We primarily we have tried everything with it, but where we've had the most success is flash sales, where we say, hey, we've got, figure this brand like once a month we'll do, a 24, 48, or 72-hour flash sale. And SMS is where that truly shines. It's just to announce a flash sale, set a reminder, and then like say, hey, it's closing, and then a reminder about it closing, where you're able to create that like fast urgency. The other thing that's cool about SMS is the customer can reply. I think my favorite part of SMS though is the pure simplicity. Like it is so easy to overthink email. SMS, you don't have that option. You've got 140 characters. It's like writing a tweet. It is such a pure play in that sense.
And just a last question: how often? Like, how often do you like blast them with a flash sale?
It's usually once a month. A flash sale will be part of the promotion calendar.
Nice. And Taylor, have you guys tried SMS yet?
Yeah,
and how has that been for your brand?
Yeah, we launched SMS earlier this year, and we're seeing a huge return on investment with it. And our marketing team is actually really focused going into the end of the year on really building out our SMS capabilities. And we're hoping to expand it into also offering full text support as well, just because you're absolutely right. People do respond to those text messages and they're engaged and it's easy, and they can be at the store, and if they don't see what they want, they can text the support agent about it. They can place an order when they're on their go and they're thinking about it and they don't have to log on later. Like, it makes a huge difference when you just fit into that convenience of someone's life. So yeah, SMS is huge, and we definitely expect it to be a very good channel for us in the future.
Yeah, it's like, so the VIP club get 10% off like right off the bat, and
yep.
So what tool are you using for?
We're using Attentive. Yeah,
okay.
We're using Attentive, and it's been really great. And Attentive links with or integrates with Gorgias really well. So I can see the Attentive tickets that come in. I do my absolute best to get back to text messages as quickly as possible, because you want it to be conversational. You want it to feel like they're texting a friend. So that's been really great. And the engagement on it,
How do you do that? Like, making them feel like they're texting a friend? Like, is there like some words or something that you're...
Honestly, it's the authenticity. It's talking to them as though, I mean, if you've ever worked in retail or at a coffee shop or as a waiter or a waitress, like, it's just being a real person with them, because I think all of us are a little bit used to the Amazon, Apple kind of flow where you log on, you are going to go through a chatbot support, and you're either getting a computer or you're getting somebody who's also dealing with 800 other people at the same time, and they're not going to take the time to talk to you. But just, asking how their day is, or especially if you see a repeat name, just like bring up what they talked about last. I mean, it's not overly complicated to make somebody feel like they matter.
No, that's really good. And what are the questions that people are asking you?
Typically, and is this just SMS? Because the types of questions are actually pretty different channel to channel.
Yeah, no, SMS.
Yeah, so SMS is typically promotional related. We're not an overly promotional brand. It's pretty infrequent that we run a promo. So over text, it's usually, hey, what sales are coming up? Is there anything I can take advantage of? And then especially around powders recently, recipes is a huge request. And new flavors. And so we're satisfying the new flavor need right now. But yeah, recipes is a really big one. And so building out resources for that is a huge project for me in the next few months.
Oh yeah, so people are asking you recipes through SMS. So yeah, it's really like texting your mother.
Yeah, like, how else can I use this? I don't drink coffee, so like, help me out here. And like, I did a recipe guide last year that's still up on the site. But now that we've got these new flavors, it's like, you're not going to throw salted caramel in something that, like, I don't know, chocolate would go into, or, coconut into vanilla. That doesn't always work. But yeah, people are looking for alternatives to, I don't drink coffee anymore. I gave it up because of the acidity. So like, what else can I do? And for all I know, they might actually be standing in their kitchen right now, like waiting for me to respond so they can make something.
That's great. That's greght. Any last thoughts on SMS before we move on to live chat?
I thought we were talking about live chat.
We're going right into it. It's like,
yeah, they're kind of the same thing.
they're very similar, right? But I think, like, if someone is like on your site now, the thing is like they can leave, and now it might be harder to catch them back. So like you have live site installed on your live chat installed on your site. Like, what are the biggest pitfalls or things that you need to be careful about before turning this channel on? Like one thing that we said, Gorgias, is like you really need your ducks in a row on email and on your other channels first, and you need to make sure that like your first time reply is top notch on the other channels even before considering that. But what have you guys noticed? Like, what are the things that you need to avoid when starting live chat?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the SLA requirement with chat. You're absolutely right. Somebody will message you, and if you don't get back to them right away, I mean, they can just leave. They don't have to leave their email. They don't have to do anything. And I run our customer success side on my own, and so it's like I might act like I might be doing a webinar, or I might be on a call with someone, and I can't answer that chat right away. So that's a huge pitfall for live chat. And, you know, most of the time they come to my phone anyway. So it's like I respond to them like I do a text message. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge with live chat. And when they expect an instantaneous response, their question might not be able to be answered with an instant response. It's, you know, macros are great, but if they ask a pretty complicated science question, I can't explain that in a single sentence. I need to build it out a little bit. And so, you know, learning to say, okay, give me just a second because this is a very detailed answer, but like I'm writing it out for you. Like just letting them know that they're heard and you're there, like that's one piece. But yeah, it's for sure a challenge.
And Kurt, have you seen some brands doing a great job at live chat again? And is there like any insights from or learnings from these guys? Like, is it something that is ROI positive, or it's
my core skill in e-commerce is conversion rate optimization.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I love and hate live chat. Live chat is great for conversion rates. Live chat is awful for conversion rates. And the reason is if someone shows up, they have a question, they answer it, they get a satisfactory answer, the chance they are now much more likely to convert. I love live chat for that reason. Yeah. However, with live chat, if to Taylor's point, if you don't have someone who can answer it, you don't have someone who can answer it promptly or correctly, or it's just like nothing but autoresponder macros, that's a negative experience. It's going to be detrimental to conversion rate. So my feeling with live chat is if you can actively run the thing, absolutely turn it on. Outside of that time, I don't want to see it in the slightest because there's nothing that it's a real turnoff where people click on the live chat and it's like, leave a message, we'll get back to you. Oh, all you've done is brought the horror of leaving someone voicemail and hoping they call you back to your website.
Oh, that's very, very, very true. And yeah, you can put some disclaimer like, yeah, we're coming back in 30 seconds. Leave your they can ask the first question, and then if you're not there, you ask for the email. But it's true that it's not the real experience, and then it might just postpone their purchase for that reason. So
the other thing I like these for is you can, once you've collected a lot of data with these live chats, either read through them or run them through a text analyzer and try and figure out what's the number one objection? To purchase? What are the top 3 questions people have? And now you know, okay, we are not doing a good enough job communicating those things on the website.
Yeah.
So we often will use it to find, like as a form of customer survey, because normally you only hear from the customers who buy from you. What's great about live chat is you can hear from everybody, the people who are thinking about buying, the people who are about to bounce, and then you could go use that and go through it and try and figure out, okay, well, if everyone is asking, is there a coupon? We know that price is a problem and we're not communicating our value. So maybe we need to offer financing and do a better job of communicating the value. Or, you know, everyone asks, well, what kind of shipping do you have? Okay, well, that's the thing. We can add a badge, or we can add, we could use an app like Phoenix Commerce and have it display the expected delivery date. Those questions are telling you what's stopping people from buying. Every one of those questions represents friction. And for every person who asked, 10 people have the same question and didn't ask.
100%. And even you can use live chat in some instances to address those objections. So if
absolutely.
Yeah, so if like upfront, like you could have a little campaign being like, hey, this is like, I'm your health specialist or I'm your nutritional consultant. I'm available. And this product is 100% organic. Let me know if you have any other questions. So just like sometimes maybe
I think
triggering that conversation can really bring value and engagement, because that's at the end of the day, if you're there, you want that engagement because they're much more likely to convert if they talk to you first.
if you had, to your point about they're much more likely to convert if they talk to you, and you have a very high touch sales process. A client suggested this idea to me, and we're working through a theme setup, so we'll implement this down the road. Is we'll have the live chat, but if there's no one around on the live chat, it will say, "Hey, here," like it'll give you, here's an FAQ, or if you'd like a personal consultation, book a call. And we're going to use Calendly and let customers book either a 15-minute or a 30-minute consultation with a customer service rep. So it's like, yeah, I'm not available right now, but you could schedule it. I wish I could take credit for it. It's a woman who sells concealed carry holsters for women. And there's just tons of these things. It turned out they're really confusing. And people have a lot of issues with like, well, what's right for me? So she helps talks women through it. Like, okay, well, based on whatever, here's what we recommend.
Yeah, and your conversion rate on a live video conversation must be like 70%.
Yeah, well, that's what she says, because when people call and we talk them through it, they always buy. Okay, so let's double down on that. And this was the way to do it. But you could combine it with the live chat. That's kind of cool. Just add this. And obviously, it's not going to work for every product, but for like real high touch stuff, you could do it. I thought it was smart.
The higher the value really point, cool. That's for sure. But even for a product like, I don't know, like what is your lifetime value of the clients? Like how many months when they subscribe, they stay on. But like a subscription for you might be worth like $300. So you want to like whatever you can do to provide them with a consultation or talking to a nutritional consultant. Or like it's worth it. If they take 15 minutes to make a $300 purchase, it can definitely and be upsold into a subscription. I mean, that's pretty high value right there.
I love Taylor. I love this site.
Yeah,
and I think one of the brilliant things in that product form that I have to point out is it gives you the price per serving. We implemented this on a client site that sells tea, where it's like cost per cup automatically gets calculated, and they get a lot of customer feedback. They're like, I love it. It's such a. So I said, like, well, what if you knew price or value was the objection? By rephrasing it as cost per serving, suddenly it seems more valuable.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap, actually. Guys, as we're wrapping up, thank you so much for all the insights on conversational commerce that you have. There's something else, obviously, that happened in the last 3 months. Everybody's been affected, and I want to capture your feedback, your thoughts on, what did you see in your business, in your client's business around coronavirus? So like, what were the trends? Who won? What was more difficult? Like, have you adapted your strategies and what was successful? Like a quick fire on Taylor, go ahead. Like, what do you guys see at the beginning, the trends, and how did you adapt?
We got really lucky being in the self-care nutrition kind of space. We've been doing well through this. But of course we had subscribers who lost their jobs. They temporarily dropped off. But I think the biggest theme through all of COVID has been just the way people talk now. It's like, I don't think anybody was really immune to the collective suffering that this brought on. And everybody is more patient, more kind, more understanding, and more thoughtful in the way they talk, the way they post. And like being on the other end of it, you can feel it. When somebody gets on the phone with you, they're happy to talk to somebody because everybody's a little bit isolated right now. And I don't know, it's like there's a whole shift in the way people communicate. And it's been, obviously you don't like the way that it was brought on, but like you appreciate the fact that moving through this, people are changing. And not to say that everybody was, rude or customers were mean before, but just to see that shift is is very interesting, and it'll be interesting to see as we come out and reopen, like, does that attitude and demeanor stay? So it'll be interesting to see that over the next 6 months.
And Kurt, what have you seen from all your clients? Like,
well, I like Taylor's take. I had noticed a similar thing, but the advice I was giving clients was, now more than ever, be a human, be authentic and real in yourself. Absolutely. In that brand voice. So being human really, really helps, because there's a lot of people we're dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety, and still are. We're not out of the woods yet. As far as conversion rate optimization goes, I think the thing you have to do now is really over communicate. Are you still shipping or not? And how has that been affected? So make sure you over communicate on that stuff. I mean, it is crazy times we live in. I had a UPS package that literally in the UPS tracking said delayed due to civil unrest. I'm in Chicago. It was because of protests. I've never seen anything like that. So again, like, being empathetic, being human, but with the e-commerce boom, it's hard to know, well, who's still shipping? Are they shipping? What's the delay? Am I going to get my stuff? So make sure you over communicate on that. Like, if you've got the announcement bar on the top of your website, make a statement, put it up there. And certainly I would make sure you're offering financing. I like Firm and Sezzle and QuadPay and all those, because they're 0%, right? A lot of, after the 2008 financial crisis, it's harder for millennials and everyone after them to get credit and financing. So you can offer it, do that service to your clients or for your customers.
Overcommunicate, help, financing, be human. Thank you so much, guys, for all the insights. That was really, really great. I think, Kurt, you have the mandate to close this off, close the day of the Olympics.
I do. Go ahead and end your screen share for me there, Phil. And let me go in the chat. I have a few links I want to share with people, and then I have a statement that we can read as well. And as long as we're at it, I think we need some outro music. Let's throw on
a statement from the priest.
We'll throw on the tiki room there.
Victor.
All right. So for everyone who made it to the end, thank you for sticking around. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to bookmark the show notes. I just dropped a bunch of links in that chat room. Show notes is the first one. So make sure you grab that. And all of these recordings are going to be available 2 days from now. You'll get an email with them. And in that email, Derek's going to ask you for feedback. So make sure you give him feedback on the event. He does actually read it, care, and pay attention to it. Your feedback shapes Derek's future events. So get in there and say, look, Kurt, Taylor, and Phil, get them back. They're so good. And if you want more good tech tool reviews and access to sessions like these, subscribe to the e-commerce tech YouTube page. It will also be in the chat. It's in there now. And let's see, what else does Derek have for us? Oh, follow along his Future of E-commerce podcast. While you're at it, check out my podcast, the Unofficial Shopify Podcast. And of course, thanks again to our amazing speakers and partners and sponsors, HelpFlow, ManyChat, and OmniConvert, and the host of this event, Gorgias, the help desk for e-commerce merchants. I highly recommend checking them out. I actually, I remember talking to Phil 3 years ago now, I think, in New York. Yeah, at a Shopify event. And Phil and Roman said, hey, we're working on this cool app for Shopify. Can we tell you about it? I was like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. Are you kidding me? So I really, like, Gorgias is truly phenomenal help desk software. And we look forward to seeing you at the next virtual and someday live events. Until then, see you guys.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Taylor.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah.